never show you what it's gonna be like. There we go. Gorgeous. See if I can't move you guys over just a tad. Again, they never give me what it's gonna be until the actual camera goes on. It's silly, I know. Silly, silly, silly. So, you guys, it's gonna be a big one tonight. My goodness, I'm still getting my gloves on. Had to run downstairs, turn out the lights, do all the stuff that we gotta do before we start the show. Look at the size of this canvas. It's immense. It's intense. It's humongous, you guys. So we're gonna do a really cool little sky. We're gonna blend out our sky a lot. We're gonna throw some clouds in there. Do a little ocean scene. Maybe put a sinkhole in it. Maybe not. Maybe not. We'll figure it out as we get there, right? We'll see what we can do. So, you guys, how's your weekend been going? Tell me. Check in. Where you're watching from. What time is it where you are right now? Oh, yeah. Woo! Man, look at this canvas. It's bigger than the Bob Ross palette. Seriously, you know how big these palettes are. So, where we got people from today? We're watching from all over the place. Pennsylvania. We got Santa Fe Springs. There we go. Got Texas. Uncle Jimmy's over here. Boo! Mark's here. Massachusetts, Kansas, Idaho, Texas. We got people from all over the place. You guys. The time isn't real on Mount Doom. That's true. Bang. Over here. Now, let's do this giant old thing. Let me tell you what I've done so far. You may be able to see some of the rainbow-esque colors that we have down here. Literally every color available we've used today. So I took my black gesso, I put a big piece of tape, blacked out the whole bottom, peeled off the tape. Once it was dry, I put my Bob Ross liquid clear onto it, and then Indian yellow, bright red, crimson, more yellow, some phthalo green, some more yellow, some blue, some crimson over here, some phthalo green, some more blue, some purpley bits, some crimson, some orange, some yellow, some green, some phthalo green, some blue, and some crimson over here. I'm telling you, every single color that's possible we've used. And then I covered the top of the canvas in our Bob Ross liquid white. We need to get real close to you guys in order for you to see it, because you don't need a whole lot. That's the main goal. We don't want to put on too much. So, you guys, let's get started over here. We're going to go through all these colors. We've got our Indian yellow. We'll just start from the side. We've got our bright red, got our ultraviolet purple. Then we have the Meaden crimson, our phthalo green, Indian yellow, yellow ochre. I don't think we're going to use either of the two brown colors or the sap green color. Phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, midnight black, titanium white. Now, where are we from? How cold is it today, you guys? For some reason, I just can't get warm. Am I the only one that can't get warm, or do you guys feel that too? How cold is it where you are today? Look at this big old canvas. You can literally stretch and blend out this entire thing just from a little bit of paint and having our wet canvas, right? Gotta have our wet canvas if we want it to work right, meaning that liquid white and the liquid clear. If you're just on a dry canvas, boy, oh boy, it's just not gonna work now, is it? That yellow, it gets brighter and brighter and brighter. Let's go into a little bit darker yellow, which is our yellow ochre color. Right? You can see a little difference in there. Just a little shade different. Gives a little dusky feel. I like it. We don't even need to go all the way across, and the more that we blend it, the more it's going to all turn into the same theme, right? We don't need it necessarily to all turn into the same color. That would be kind of lame. We'd end up with like a brown sky by the time we got done, right? And who wants that? Now look, the more that you push and crisscross on this stuff, even as you're blocking in the color, the more it will blend in and fade away, get softer and softer and softer. Let's come out here into our bright red. We're not gonna wash the brush until we get done. So we're gonna get a good amount. I'll show you a good old, just into the pile, pulling it down. The bright red goes very light, very quickly. And so if you want there to be a red hue in the sky, you gotta put a lot of red there. Otherwise, it's going to disappear, right? Take the bottom side, blend it down just a little bit. We're gonna go back and blend our sky out and stuff. We don't need to really worry about it at this moment in time. But over there, dropping a little red color on, maybe you need to go back and grab a little bit more off our palette, and maybe we'll come in from over here. Who knows? Right? What does your sky look like? Because it's not gonna look exactly the same as mine. And so you have to judge based off what yours is starting to look like and how it's starting to blend, because again, we're all gonna use the same colors, but we're gonna have wildly different results. And that's the most fun thing about art, to me anyway, right? You want this red to continue growing. All up to us. How far it gets over there, how pink it gets or orangey it gets. All up to us when we're blending it all out, right? Now we're gonna go straight from the red. Let's make sure we actually got some red and not yellow onto the brush. There we go. We get some red onto the brush up there. Then we're gonna go into our mead and crimson color. You need much less of this mead and crimson in order for it to work. Are you kidding me? Somebody grabbed a couple things already. Now I gotta go see what that is. I gotta go check it out. Who is it? Brian. Brian, my dude. Let's see. Ooh, you got some good ones, my guy. 2 of them are downstairs. One of them is up here in the dry room, so I can just show you the one here in a little bit. We've got 3 paintings, guys, because we've lowered the prices down on some of these older paintings. So your favorite just might be ready to go. And it's not going to be very expensive at all. Look at that crimson. Look at how deep and purpley it is. I love that mead and crimson so much. And because it's a thinner, wetter paint, it can slide a lot further and blend a lot more, right? Again, we're just popping some colors up there. We don't need anything to look exactly any which way right now. We just want to pop some color on, and then we'll go back and we'll blend it all out. Now, we've gone from this progressively lighter to darker sky, so you make the decision whether or not you want to go blue or whether or not you want to go purple. And in this case, let's do a little of both. We're gonna go bluey, just up in here, just a little bit. We don't want the blue to grow too far. Bang, just right up there. Maybe right there too, bam, right? We don't want to put in too much. And then we'll go purple onto the brush. Straight into it, lots of purple. Because the purple blends away very fast, right? So it's instantly blending to this much lighter color. So you need a lot of paint, a lot of that purpley mix, right? And once we're out here into our purple, and we've done our little bit, it's the only time we're allowed to go back in and grab some of that crimson again and toss it into here as well. Because the crimson and the Gamblin purple make the most gorgeous purpley bit you've ever seen in the night, right? A little bit of craziness. Nothing out there has to be perfect. Maybe we take a little bit of our black too, just to dull it down, just to get our darker our exterior portion of our canvas to get a little deeper and darker. Maybe we put just a couple swipes. Couple little bits of black up in there too, just to help it, right? There we go. There we go. That's gonna be cool. Now we've got to go wash this brush off because we can't very well blend out this huge old canvas sky with just this one brush, right? We've got too much paint on the brush in order to blend it out. We'll just continue dumping on colors, which we know is not good at all. The more paint that we put on there, the harder it's gonna be to then blend it out, right? Now we have to dab off our brush on a paper towel. You got to. You got to make sure you take the time and get the brush dry enough. It doesn't have to be 100% dry, but it's at least got to be like 75% dry, at least, right? Now, where are you guys watching from all over this world? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to show you how to go back and blend this guy out. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, just give me one thumbs up. Drop the comments section down, right? And then click the like button one time, and then go back to the comments. That's gonna help me out so much more than you realize just by doing that, right? We'll take our brush, pow, come in here, grab it up into our lightest area first. That's where I always go into. Always into the light, not trying to drag any brightness down into our ocean scene. We want that section to be as dark as possible with our colors on it, right? Now, if I come out here into this crimson color, I know my brush is gonna be a little deeper and darker, so I'm gonna have to not straight back into my brightest area, right? The more that we mix it, the softer it will become, and then we can go put our cloud shadows and different stuff up there. So if you've really got an area of a real hard, stiff line, just blend it a little bit more. Put a lot more pressure into that guy. The more pressure you push on it, the farther you bring it down, the more it'll get blended, right? The more that we work it. So we'll grab it up here, work it down. Grab it up here again. Push it down, right? Blend it. Lots of pressure, full pressure on the canvas. I'm pushing full on to it. I don't know why my hand has paint on it. But beyond that, we're using our full pressure. Just look at the difference of the softness. You know what I mean? That's all we're looking for, that soft little change in the night. Guys, my goodness. So thank you to Brian. I think Brian and his wife, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they are avid watchers and purchasers of the Paint with Josh show. And I very much appreciate you guys for that. Very much so. The more we mix, the less clouds we'll have to do, right? So if we push and blend and mix it down all over the ground, then the less clouds and stuff we'll have to do, right? We can do as many as we want, but if we don't have to do so many, that's gonna help us out. See how we drag in just a little bit? See how that pink is inching our yellow away from us? We've got to get this side all covered in our sunsetty sky, guys. The sunset of a sky. Again, the more we mix it and blend it, the more it's going to soften itself. Right? So if we want to continue this guy and just push it until there is no difference. Right? Oh, see what I did? Don't go down into the dark part of your canvas, Joshy. Don't do it. I'm telling you, I gotta reach like literally as tall as I can get up here. Now that we're into our crimson-y section, we want to make sure we get enough of that crimson onto the brush, all right, to cover up the yellow tips. Now it's no longer yellow on the tip, it's pink on the tip, and that way we can get into our blue, and we won't have an interaction with our greenery that we don't want to have in our sky, right? So we'll pull on that blue, we'll push it, we'll mush it, we'll take out our frustrations from the day, like, oh, how dare you interrupt me during my football game, or whatever, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Whatever you guys are doing out there, right? For me, it's always painting all the time. Oh, my arm is just tired as goodness already, right? Say your boss made you work on the weekends or something, and you're like, oh, that's where we're taking out our frustration, is up here in the sky, right? Pushing and mushing and blending and moving and grooving as far down as we want. And the farther we come down, the darker our sky will become, right? The more pressure that we're using to drag the colors down, the more they'll intermix, right? So we're deciding with our eyeballs, those two things in your head, these guys right here, we're deciding with those guys when it looks good to us, right? When it looks good to us is going to be different for everybody, right? Your looking good may not be someone else's looking good. May need a little bit more time or more color or more this or more that, more blending, right? All up to us every time that we go to do it. That's a sunset sky, guys. I like him already. Now, what if we were to just take just an immense amount of paint, just an enormous amount of paint, right? And we'll get up there. Ooh, look at that sky, guys. Look, I can kind of see, though, now that I'm back by the camera, I can kind of see this area is a little harsh. So I'm going to push on it. Blend it a little bit more, pulling it down, blending it up, blending it down, very lightly as we get into that brighter area. Right? And now it's less harsh just because we worked it a little bit more, right? Little touches here and there, guys, can help you out. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, give me a thumbs up, and then you will have helped me whether or not you think or not. You will have helped me. Cosmic Lighthouse reminding me that Paint with Josh brushes are available over on Craft Ammo's website. She's giving you the thing right there. So go check it out. And we'll see. We're going to get into a ton, just a literal ton of paint. Ooh, my eyes. Do my eyes deceive me? Let's get out here and pop this guy in. Just an immenseness of white paint right out onto our canvas, right? Then we'll go back with a 1H brush. And grab the old Paint with Josh 1H brush over here. Right? We'll mix this guy down. Over here, the more we mix it, the softer it will become, and the more it'll mix in with our sky, right? So if you want it to look brighter, then we're not going to push as hard. Right, get out there and toss a little floater in. Just a little floater, right? You want them to be softer? Like I said, push harder. Blend it out a bit more, taking some of those bright areas away. Right? If you want it to be kind of rough, then you take your white and mix it much less, right? Now, let's see. I can just feel like, oh, it hurts my heart to put darkness up into the sky like that. But we got to do it. A little bit of Bob Ross crimson, a little bit of Bob Ross black. Oh my, on a big old brush. Oh, Josh, don't do it. It's got to. I can see it. It's just, it's out there. This whole mess of just nonsense. Pow! Right? Mixing it back. This whole big crazy thing. Now we know it's not going to stay that dark as we start to mix it up. It's going to start to kind of level out, blend its way in with those colors, and sort of get a lot brighter. It's because it's mixing in with that liquid white that's on our canvas, right? Mixing in with the colors that are underneath, and all the while making it brighter and brighter and brighter the more that we mix, right? Now we can take this enormous crazy thing. Oh man! That, I didn't even look at it because I can't see back here, but that looks really cool. Let's take one more little bit of it. Let's come out this way. Just a little crazy old little thing. Maybe we'll pop something out that side too. Just so it's not all the same, right? I never like them to all be exactly the same. We'll get back in here. Whether that's the same angle, the same shape, the same whatever. I just like it that. Just pop out, be crazy. Just get a little nuts, right? Now, the further that you go in to your yellowy section, right, the more darkness is going to draw itself down and away from those little guys. So, you decide what you want it to look like. Oh, man, look at this little guy out here. Woo, baby. Now, remember, if all of our light is coming down this way, maybe we'll catch some of that light, and we're going to need a whole lot of our white paint, right? Because we're going to catch it on the bottom or in the front side of this guy. Maybe let it climb up, catch it onto the top edge of this guy over here. And we don't want to put on so much that it goes away, right? Come back with the paint with Josh brush, so it'll be very soft. Softness, right? And we can determine, the more we mix in this white, the more dark it'll become, right? We have to have it get darker as it blends back towards and away from our sky. So we can mix it very lightly up here. And the more that we mix it back, taking big giant swooshes, right? Wherever you gotta push it or move it or pull it over that way in order to make it odd. Oh my God, look at that. Holy shaving cream. Did you ever think it would be from just a mess? Just literally a pop of a mess, what you can do, right? That old paint with Josh brush, get back up in here, we'll mush it and push it. Push it. They were talking about painting, did you guys know that? Look at those clouds! Holy shaving cream! All right, let's get back underneath this guy. We're gonna go a little bit more crimson, much less black. Toss a little shadow up underneath this dude. Bang, right there. Little bat symbol. Looks like a little angel to me. Is it your guardian angel? Out there in the night, right underneath the bright. So there's two different ways to do it. You can put your bright up there, and you can put your dark, and then you can take your bright and mix it back down over the dark, right? Or you put your dark up first, and put your bright out there. And remember, the more that you push, the more it will blend away, right? It will go, it will disappear. It will be crazy, boy. I like it, though. Need a little bit more of that darkness right in there. As you know, you gotta have it. You can't have light without dark. Oh, it's cool. That's cool. And then, let's come in again. I much prefer to do the dark and then the light versus the light and then the dark, because then you gotta go back over it with your light anyway, right? In order for it to look like it's got some depth, we can't always just use the colors that are on our sky. We've gotta add new ones. And new little things in the night. Shoo, guys. All right, let's do one more big old monstrous. Ooh, if we just continue on, because I like that guy. Let's go crimson, black, right? Not the blue, because if we get into our yellow, then it's going to turn our sky too bright. More crimson than black. And let's just get out here and go crazy again. Pow! He's off to the races. Boosh! You guys, look at it. Oh, I love it. I love it. Let's get up here and we'll mix it out soft. A couple swipes and then flip, right? Little flip to the side. Pow! Get up out my face. Boom! Shit! Look at this scene already. My guys and gals and the pals of painting. Or painting pals. Painting pals works better. It works better. See how we're not mixing everything all the same? How we're kind of jumping to new areas, leaving a little bit of softness, going back up into those rough areas, those harsh areas back in there that we don't like so much, scrubbing them out, right? What do you want it to look like, you guys? Honestly, it's up to you and no one else. Came off of this guy, staying onto the top, mushing it as much as I can twisting the brush in order to get the paint to deposit off of the brush and onto the canvas, right? Go back in with old trusty soft and flop right back here, the 1-inch brush. I call it the old soft and floppy because the bristles are very flippant and flippy and floppy out here. So, the old soft and floppy. Talking about our 1-inch brush. Look at this guy. The more we mix it up, the softer and softer and softer it gets. Oh my God! Look at the immense storm on the horizon, you guys. I'm gonna put a little bit more of my white down underneath this guy, and then blend it up nice and good. All right, get up underneath, pushing it a little harder over here, over there, blending it, blending it, blending it, blending it, just until I like how it looks. And once I like how it looks, oh, that's cool. You know what we can do now? Since we've got that, it's like a little, I kind of like that it's actually disconnected a little bit. Maybe we'll pop on a bit more brightness up here, let it trail off, out into the bright zone of our sky. Shoo, guys, did you think it was this easy? Did you think in your life that it was going to be that simple to toss out a few little clouds into the night? A lot more bright back here, kind of trailing off the brightness of that guy. But you can see we put it on there in a random way, almost with your eyes shut. So you know it's going to be brighter in some areas and darker in some other areas. That's how clouds are, right? That's a fantastic little sky out there. If I ever did seed one myself. Shoot, guys, what is this right here? Oh, I thought that was one of you guys grabbing this painting. Did you know this one's available? You could get it, and I know it's a little hefty in the cost. I feel you. But it's a massive canvas. You cut me some slack over there. Right? We should blend these guys out so evenly that you can't even drag any paints across by the time you get done. Isn't that just so cool? Oh, it's so cool. You know what we need to do, though, to make it more cooler? Our sky in the top needs to get darker. So we're gonna take our crimson and our black, the same color that we used to make the shadow, and just make our topper part of our sky just a bit more deep and dark. Just until we like it. Ooh, that's getting there. That's getting there. It's getting there. A little bit more. A little more. There we go. All right, the more that you push it and mush it, the more it's going to blend. Right, so we've got to decide how we want it to look, how deep, how dark, and then just an immense amount of white onto our brush. Add a couple little details up into here, right? Maybe there's pop little things or whatever. Now, it's exactly how we do a galaxy sky, literally. And then you go back and you sort of work them together. So work some of this guy over here, work some of this guy back over here. Swip back and forth and back and forth. Right? Maybe we drop down, maybe we come over here, maybe we come up, we cut through. We just did like a whole figure 8. Right through that whole guy. That way we're not pushing anything all at the same time, right? We're kind of wiggling it, moving it around. If we need to push a little harder and drag it a little further, it's still a weird thing. I'm not just trying to steamroll everything down, right? You want there to be differences. And in order for that to happen, you've got to be random about it. Okay, let's get over here. We're going to get a clean dry brush. Just because we need to fluff our clouds, right? We don't want to take too much pressure and push on them, but fluff them all the way up, right? There's not a whole lot of paint on the canvas, so we shouldn't be dragging anything. There's barely anything even getting onto the brush. Same thing, but from the edge, very softly. All we're doing is taking away the vertical brush streaks, right? Very soft across the whole thing. Because our canvas is so blended, and the clouds are already, they've already been worked and such. I need a couple more little dark areas into this guy. We're not going to drag anything across our sky, right? That's the whole point. What's he look like now? Oh, he's better, just with that one little bit. If I didn't like that guy, just come out here, pull it down a little bit, work it in, work it in, work it in. All right, what are we looking like? Ooh. I like it. It's nice and soft. Nice and soft. Again, pushing with that brush. The more pressure, the softer things will get, right? All right, let's get down into our ocean scene, you guys. We're going to wash off a couple of these brushes because I doubt that we're going to need many more of them at all. There we go. Get that guy all washed up. While I'm washing the brushes, you guys got to check in. Tell me where you're watching from. How cold is it tonight? How cold is it tonight? Wherever you're watching, it's going to be cold, I'm sure. So what is the temperature where you are in the world this evening, guys? You let us know while I wash off these brushes just real fast like. Ooh, all that darkness up into the sky. All right, but you gotta have it. You have to have dark if you want to show light areas, right? Look at that. It's intense. Whoo! That's a cloud and a half, guys. Oh, it's 37 in New York, 55 in Florida. It's like a lizard with sunglasses. I like that. I like it. I like 5 degrees in Italy. Ooh, that's cold. Okay, now let's get one of our fan brushes. We gotta get both these guys clean real quick. And then we're gonna grab our palette knife and a fan brush. We're gonna launch in our entire Seascape with just those 2 tools. Literally all you need are those 2 tools. Shoot, guys. Now this one, again, it never has to look exactly like I've painted it. You can change your idea. You can do whatever you want to do. All we have to do, though, is put some paint out there and try not to cover all of our darkness, right? We've got this whole dark section of canvas. Granted, there is paint on it. It's not just a black canvas, right? You can see the colors that are there. We don't want the Poconos. I love that. I don't know why, like the Poconos, it just sounds funny. I don't know. I've always liked that, the sound of that place. But we're gonna try not to cover up all of these colors, okay? So we'll get in here into our titanium white, pull it down, scrape up just a little bit. We don't need too much. Drop down about a 1/4 inch. Let's make this guy big. Just leave a little bit of line out there. You just want it to look kind of odd and weird and funky, right? Doesn't need to be straight. Doesn't need to all be filled in white either. So we'll just scrape our knife back and forth just a little bit, and that's really all you gotta do over and over and over again, right? And we come out here and we start scraping, we go down, let's drop down, let's go up, let's go down again, then go up again. How do you want your little watery section to look, right? Because it's all up to you guys. Every time you do it, it's up to you guys, right? So scrape up enough white paint, come back in here, get right up on the edge of our line and work it backwards, right? A lot of times I have many people message me and say, oh my God, like when I heard you say work it up instead of down, that was like an aha moment, because I've always had trouble with my water or my seascapes or whatever, and the way that you said it just made it just like just light bulb. And I was like, well, I appreciate that. That's what we're here for, right? Working it backwards and up is much easier and much more neat than working it down off of your knife. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Now, we don't want it to be all the same brightness, and we don't want it to be too bright, right? It can get very bright if we're just adding white paint out here. Now, we can go back in, and at any moment, soften any bits of these little guys with our little Paint with Josh fan brush, right? Whatever brush you got, it'll work. But the Paint with Josh ones are available at craftamo.com. Get over there and grab them. Over here, sneaking it back, taking that color, see how it's mixing in, it's changing all of a sudden, it's not so rough. Doesn't always have to be so rough. Over there, over here, down, up, down, up, down. Where do you want that color to go, right? Because it's all up to you as it comes in. Oh, that's just a goldeny, just perfection. You're gonna see how many times this color will change on us. Are you ready? Okay, let's come down. Maybe. Oh, guys. If I put the sinkhole in, it's gotta be big and flat. And then we can't really do, no, I wanna do some sand. Okay, let's get out here. Let's grab up a little bit more, just because I wanna have a sandy beach. Again, start over from where we were, so kind of below our horizon, dip down. Let's start making our decisions now. What do we want these waves to look like? Because they're coming in, and they come way down, right? And that way, we can have these big monster crashers, and we still have like 28 inches of stuff we can use for our sand. So let's get over here again, very lightly. I start at the top of one of the peaks, just kind of go along and then feed it back. If we're going to use our brush, we don't need so much paint, right? So we can get back out here and pull it with the brush, and that way it'll kind of spread a little further than you think it should, right? And not look so rough, because it doesn't have to look straight, rough texture all the time, right? Same thing over here. Oh, we're getting into some crimson, some green. Oh, this is going to be really cool. Look at that pink, a little pink pop right there. Whoa, baby, here come all the colors. A little bit more of our pinkiness. Over here and over there. We just need a bit of color just to pop off of our knife. That's pretty much it, right? We want it to be a few places because we're going to go back, blend it out with our brush, right? Very easy. You don't have to cover everything. You don't want it to be too bright in a certain spot. If it is, get out of there and get into a different spot, right? Take this guy, start to pull it back very gingerly, very softly, right? The more that we mess with it, the more bright it's gonna get. And we don't need it to remain necessarily perfectly bright. Right? Take these guys over here, start sliding them down. Not every place is going to be exactly the same, right? There's a lot of paint right there, but it works to our advantage because our sun is over there. Right? Wherever our sunlight is where it's going to be brightest anyway. So just by filling in different little places, right? We're really getting close to us now, guys. Now we're gonna see all these greens and different things erupt as they come out of here. So let's take this guy, pull it out very flat. Let's start rocking over little things. Oh, here it comes. Look at those green colors. Little bits as our water starts falling over the edge and down. Right? How far do you want yours to roll? Totally up to you. Maybe we had a little flat spot on our guy. Getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Right? So we have to drop down. Get out here and make it a little flatter out here on its edge. Again, we can take this and hit it with our brush if we wanted to. Totally up to us. Ooh, this is gonna be cool, guys. It's gonna be cool. Oh, we could so do it right there. What if we went over like this? Launched over this massive little guy. It's falling, it's rolling, it's tipping over, and it's getting into those green colors where we had all of our little bits, right? Green undercolors that were laid down prior. Dropping these guys over as they're falling, right? Now, in between, you gotta have a bit of an eye. We're gonna have a really pinkish reddish eye right here. It's very thin. We don't want the color to grow too far, right? And we know it's going to move. As soon as we hit it with our 1H brush, it's going to move a little bit and blend just a touch. So sometimes you can get it up underneath there like that. Just make it soft, right? We just need it to be soft is all we gotta do. And rely on the colors that are underneath to shine through. We need a little bit of a dark separator as well. Just a little one. Little guy, nothing too crazy. And remember, we're gonna be taking all these colors back up into that eye. Oh, look at that pinky purpley with the teal. That's gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Shoo, guys. Oh, look at it. It's starting to come to life. It's starting to come to life. Are you ready? Let's see what we can do. Now, let's say that guy is already whipped in. Maybe this guy's much bigger. So what if we took our thing and slid it out a little bit? Right? Bang. Yes. Kind of like the yes! Kind of like this. Let's launch. Right, take this whole guy, make him a little bit bigger. Again, if we're going to go that big, we have to start getting smaller and smaller and smaller as you get up that way, right? Oh my, oh my, oh my goodness. Are you looking at this? Are you see? Do you see? Do you see the color changing? Look at it. Back in here, we're just using white, remember. And then we're grabbing whatever's there. That's not enough. You have to have enough to brighten up the color. There we go. So add a little bit more. All right, we can start grabbing some more of that white, flinging it back. Back, back, back. Don't try to climb up underneath that wave too soon. You're not gonna like it. All right, the further we go, the more little things happen. Right? Now, let's drag this guy out a little bit more. come down here, working down again, just rolling it around and through is all we gotta do. Nothing too crazy. Again, take the paint that's there, wiggle it backwards. That's all you have to do. As long as you plan it out correctly, right, and you have your colors already onto the board, then whatever we do down here is gonna look really neat. Say we're getting rounder. I'll show you what I like to do with this guy. Instead of the blade being just perfectly flat, let's tilt it up a little bit, right? And then as we get around to the more rounded parts of our guy, right, we're almost going at an angle like that. And then trying to match that very fine little angle, not being perfectly straight, a little bit upwards, right? Because it's coming more towards us. It's getting a little closer to us. It should act a little differently than water that's way off in the distance back there. Way off. Oh, look at it. You guys. That's cool. Okay, let's get back up here, wipe off our brush, come into the white, and light up whatever we got on. Ooh, it's like a golden greeny eye. Like that. I like it. Guys, come up underneath and just mix it softly, softly, softly. As it's rolling out, rolling over. We don't want it to be too big. Right, the more you work it, the bigger it's gonna get, Joshy. Look at that, guys. Oh man, alive. You guys. Come down here a little bit more. Streak it outwards. And we had to really turn the knife in order to make it almost vertical over there, right? Just to help it grow out and become more rounded, like that, right? That way it's gonna look like it's coming towards us over here. Put on a little bit more of our paint onto this side, because we're gonna drag it out with our knife, right? Or with our brush, excuse me. And we can decide where we're gonna connect onto our other wave up here, right? We have to drag down at some point. Not all of the water is gonna be going crazy, right? Maybe this guy's rolling up. He's coming up underneath his little friend, but he has to start getting flatter and flatter and flatter as it rolls outwards, because not everything is just going to be rotating so much. You know what I mean? You don't have to get out there and make our crazy flips or crazy like ramp of a thing. It's not rotating that far, right? It's very flat out here. So, meaning we're gonna have to grab onto these guys and drag them down to match those angles. Right? The more that we do that, the further and further our little wave roll gets pushed away. Now, maybe we wanted to change the angle up a little bit. Right? So we come down here, start pulling it this way, and maybe take this guy and pull it off in the other way, and then we'll have a little, like a little lip, a little way, a ridge, just a dragon's ridge. Right? These guys that come down here, they're lining up. All this paint gets pulled backwards. All we're doing is kind of filling in the middleman a little bit, taking him, spreading it out, pushing it, mushing it, dragging it upwards, right? And then this guy, we're gonna go off the other side, pushing it back, taking his little bits, and just mixing them until they look just about right. Boom, boom, boom. Guys, look at all the colors in this wave. Whoo! Look at it! Oh, man. You can even see the color changes in here with the blue to the phthalo green patch. I really like that. That is cool, guys. Look at that. Yeah, guys, I like it. I like it out there, man. What if we started launching off just a little, like a little babe wanted to roll his way out here. He was coming down. He just wanted a little bit. He's like, hey, I want to catch some waves too, bro. I want to be there too, man. What are you guys up to? What's going on over here? Little bits, little bits. This guy. There we go. Little things. Don't need to. Nothing too crazy. There we go. A little bit of our water. Little bits. If we didn't like him, let's just push on it a little bit harder. Blend that sucker away, just like that, guys. All right, the more white that we have to put in here, the more our colors are going to disappear. Right? Oh, that's it. Look at that, dudes. Okay, now let's get back out here. We need to get a little of our liquid white, and we're gonna get underneath, and we're gonna light up just a whole big batch of sandy water, if you can believe it or believe it not. I mean, our liquid white and our titanium white together. Okay, we're gonna come underneath this guy. I'm gonna come underneath this one first because it's gonna be the brightest over here. I wanna deposit as much of my liquidy whitey paint that I've got right down over this yellowy section where it's gonna be bright, right? Now, underneath every piece of our wave, we have to add this liquid white and titanium white mix. It's going to look really messy at this point, and we're trying to leave a little separation in between the sand and the actual water, okay? You can use full pressure on your knife, as much as you can get, in order to put as much liquidy white, titanium white mix that we have down there into that spot. This guy we're gonna put a lot less because there's not so much room for him to grow before I hit that other section of water. Okay, and I'm gonna show you, we'll even do this little guy with the 1-inch brush. Just pull it down very lightly. Right, and then we're gonna take all those horizontal streaks and turn them into vertical streaks. And that makes our little wet, sandy, beachy area back there. Okay, for our bigger section, let's start in this yellow. Look at this. My goodness. Oh, man, look at that color. That is cute, guys. All right, we pull it down. I don't want to take too much of that green and go back through my yellow area. There we go. I got some bluery. All right, again, the more we pull on this stuff, turn our brush vertical even, and grab it with a lot more pressure, the more it's going to leave this shiny thing on our oceany sand, right? Just pull it. Bang, 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 bang. Lots of pressure. Look at that. Yoo-hoo! Guys, does that look like a waterfall to you? Or does it look like sand? What do you think? What do you think out there? I'm going to wash off this brush real quick. It's got a lot of that bluey color on there now. We don't want to get that back into our sandy yellowy area, do we? So, does it look like sand to you? Just yes or no answers is all we need. Just a yes or no. Looks like a waterfall. I feel you. Oh, man. Look at those colors, though. Look at those colors, though, you guys. Yeah, as soon as this video ends, you'll be able to re-watch it from the beginning. Isn't that amazing? Now watch, let's take all this stuff, right? Let's do it in our yellow section first so we don't get it too muddied up. Just kind of taking all of our vertical streaks, turning them into horizontal streaks. Right? That's all you need. Same thing over here. All this stuff right here. The more we mix into that verticality and turn them into horizontalcalities, the more it starts looking like wet sandy beach. Sure, guys, dudes. This one is intense. He is intense. Oh, just so softly of a touch with that brush on that far away guy. Make him look a little further away, guys. Okay, we're gonna come over here. Streaking out. Remember, turning all of our vertical streaks into horizontal streaky poos. A little swipey poo, a little streaky poo, a little here and a little there. And you get this really cool shine onto the beach. Yeah, God, look at that. Oh. Isn't that fantastic? Isn't it just literally, quite literally fantastic? The more you push on that bright area underneath your wave, the more it will blend its way out. You can get underneath here. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Very soft like. Even going over the waves because we don't have a whole lot of paint up there that's going to streak off yet, right? Nothing up here is liquid white up on our waves anymore, or anyway. So, look at that though. See the little shadow underneath? Just a soft little shadow, guys, is all you need to have. Now let's get that liquid white paint. It's very runny and very wet. Get our titanium white paint. Mix it up over here. Right? And let's start getting this guy and bringing out our color just down and shrinking our little dark separator back there. All right? We just gotta shrink it a little bit. And if we can shrink it down and deposit some of these little bits along the way off of our knife, right, we'll have some really cool little details. The further and further away we get, the less of them that we need, though. Right? We're not gonna see all this stuff way out there. The more close that we get to us, the more little details that we can add, right? Let's put something way the heck out there, just so we can tell the difference between the land and the ocean, or our watery area. There we go. Right, a couple little bits, little things in the night. Shoo, guys, look at that. That is fantastic. My goodness. My goodness and a half. Okay, get in here with our titanium white again, liquid white, titanium white. Can't ever use just one or the other. Not at this point, anyway. Out there, a couple little bits of water hanging out in the night, right? Whatever we've got on our knife, we just kind of pull it back, streaking back in little different areas, different things. And if you've got that beam that's behind the canvas, it can be a big pain in the butt, right? There we go. Kind of pushing out on my canvas so it stays away from that center beam back in there, right? That little piece that runs all along the front. So again, come back in, deposit. Come here, making a deposit, thank you. Over there. As bright as you want or as dark as you want. Doesn't have to be anything, right? Just because mine looks like this doesn't mean that yours has to look like this. Little bits of color start streaking off the back of the knife, just very lightly. Not trying to make too big of a mess at any moment, right? You could make a giant blob at any moment. It could come out and you're like, no! It's happened before. It'll happen again, right? It will happen again. So, we've got to be ready for those little areas, those little deals. Dropping on some of my thicker titanium white out here, just because I want it to look a little different, a little rougher, because we're closer, right down onto our shadowy area, right? Can't have it be too big of a dark spot. If it's too big of a darkness, then it just looks funny, right? It doesn't look like a shadow anymore. It looks like a big open space, right? So you got to shrink it down and then go back and fill it the way that you want it to look. Nobody out here is going to like it unless you like it, right? So you've got to be the deciding factor and be like, you know what? That's money right there. I like that, or that's not. I don't like that. I got to fix this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do whatever. It's all up to you every time that you do it, right? Now, you can also go back in with your brush very lightly. You don't want to take away too many details. Right? We can soften those details just by going over them with a little brush, or extending ones that maybe you found a bit too bright, right? Just by pushing on it a little bit more, hanging out in the night. You guys! Oh, look at it. That's so cool. The more you drag backwards, the softer it gets. We don't want to necessarily get rid of all of our little details. Over here and over there. You guys. We'll come off this other side with just a little bit for our ridge. And then we'll go push on that stuff and make it softer. Right? Because once we make it softer, it'll look more like water. We'll drag it off this way, pulling down, trying to match our little angles. Oh. Woo! Oh, I like him. Okay, now let's get out a little bit more of our liquid white. It takes a lot when we're doing a big old canvas like this, right? A little bit of our liquid white. Let's go make some of our sea foamy lines that have extended out here, right? So maybe I'm gonna dump it down real far, work our way back, maybe work our way out here, come down around. Maybe it's out this far, maybe it's wherever we want it to be, right? We get to decide where it gets to be. Depends on how much paint we have on our knife. Right? We've got to go back and make sure we have enough to have that little ridge out on the front. So make that little ridge out there, and that's going to be an easy place to pull back from, right? A place where you can have your thing. It doesn't have to exactly follow your lines of your seascape. I'll put a little bit of it up here as well, and I'll show you the reason why. Show you the reason why, guys. Okay? Now, we're going to get a clean, dry brush, and let's come in, and we'll start kind of dragging this stuff back very slightly, right? That's why we put this stuff up here on the edge, so we can sit there and push it, and mush it, and pull it back, and you get this little bit of sea foam out here on our sand. Out here, just hanging out in our sandy beach. Wiggling it down. Popping it up, and have enough brightness for it to stand out. There we go. All right, the more that we drag it back, just literally straight sideways, not trying to grab every single bit, right? Every piece doesn't need to be touched or dragged exactly the same. And we add a little bit more onto our brush back in here. Just to pull it back, and a little bit back there. Right? And then you can be rough. Be rough with it. thing. Everywhere besides the front. You don't want to be rough with the front. All right, the front has to be that crisp white line, and the back has to get softer and softer and softer the more that it extends backwards, right? And you get that cool little bit, okay? Now, if we want to make sure we've got enough paint out there, we can go back and add a little bit more, and then we'll be able to drag back a little further with ease and not have to do it so many times, right? That's always the main goal. Do it easily. However it works easiest for you is probably the best way to do it. And I'm thinking this guy's so big, we could probably get in here with our 1-inch brush. Because we have so much room. Normally we never have this much room on a seascape or a bit of our sea foam, but this canvas is immense. Look at that, dudes. Right? Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh boy, I gotta get way down here. Just way down here onto this guy. Just to make my lines straight. Man, look at him. He is just a fella. What you doing there, fella? 'Cause this is a fella. Right into there. Look at that for just an oceany seascape. Shoot, guys. I like it. I like it. I like it. So, you guys are going to have to start coming up with a title for this painting, by the way. If it sells during the live show, then that person gets to come up with its title, right? If it doesn't sell during the live show, then we get to come up with it as a group. And when we come up with it as a group, it's a lot of fun now, isn't it? No, this is definitely not an 18. This is a 30 by 40. A 30-inch across by 40 inches tall. It's very large. It's a very large canvas. Very large. Now, because it's a level 1 staple back canvas, the price isn't as much as it would normally be for a canvas this big, but makes it nonetheless all beautiful, you guys. Shoot, guys. Come out here, gonna leave a little bit more of a ridge. I'm gonna just wiggle it until you get that little ridge of paint out there. It'll pop out a little bit more. Come down, wherever we want it to be, right? Wherever we want it is where it gets to be. There we go. That's what I want to see right now. Okay, this guy very lightly, so we don't ruin all of our little details. Streak it back. Oh! Oh! He is gorgeous. Can you say gorgeous? Because that's what that is right there. All right, let's put a little bit of our liquid white down again with our titanium white. I am so running out in this little jar, or lid of a jar anyway. Liquid white and titanium white. And that way we'll get a very wet looking sandy beach right underneath this little section. So we're gonna come out again. We've got so many more colors down here. Right, jump off a bunch. There's a bunch up underneath there and just kind of filling it on, right? Plasting it in exactly how we did it before, just about as flat on the knife as we can get, as much of it to come off as possible, because we're gonna use it to light up the sand that's underneath this guy, right? And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have, why am I holding this liquid white jar lid? It doesn't have to do anything. Get down under here, it just has to be separate. If you can keep it separate from its little friend back there, just to have that little gap again. Remember we were talking about the dark separator? A very small little gap that we can sneak down. And the smaller the gap, the more realistic it starts looking, right? Ooh, guys, I like it. A little bit of our color from that way, a little bit from this side. Oh, dudes, oh, dudes. Okay, let's come back in. We're gonna take our bit of our brush, dab it off on a paper towel. And I'm gonna start my brightest area first again, which is this spot right in here. And the more I go down into that blue, the darker it's gonna try to make my yellowy area up here. Right? So let's get one swipe, and that's it. And you wipe it off on a paper towel, and down. Now over here, it's pretty much all the same. All the same. Right? Up into there, Up over to there. Not trying to grab our bit of water. Don't touch that water line, Josh. Over here, we'll drag it down. Right, how far does it go? What colors are underneath? Totally up to you when you go to put them there. All right, if you don't put them there to begin with, then they won't be there at the end. Right? Look at the size of this thing. It's immense. It's humongous. Now, we're gonna take these guys again. Let's work our color away. Over here and over there. Back and forth. Littles here, littles there. Dragging all of our vertical streaks into horizontals. Taking all the color, shoving it right back up underneath that little bit of a line. Making it smaller and smaller and smaller as we go, right? The more that you push on it, the more it's gonna spread, and you can get it right back up underneath, right? If you get back there, push it up underneath. We don't want them to all be the same color. And then the more that we work in this color down here, look at this rainbow effect. Woo, baby. That's cool. That is a cool little seascape, if you ask me. I like it anyway. And that's all that matters, is that I like it. Look at that. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, guys, let's see what we got. Let's see what this big old canvas has in store for us. So you guys start coming up with a title for this painting. We need a title from you. I need you to come up with something in your brain that just screams this painting. Right? We're gonna come out here with our liquid white, start tossing in a couple little flicks, little doers, little here, little there. This guy's already flicked out a bunch. There's some into the sand. Boop, little reflections, little pieces, little bubbles, something. A bristle in there that's trying to be a pain in the butt. Just trying. I'm not gonna allow him to do it, but he's trying to be. He's trying. A couple more little flicks out here into our sandy area, into our little foamy spray, and all these little things, guys. Oh, that's just gorgeous. That is just gorgeous. Fantastic. I need a little bit more of my liquid white, though. We don't have enough. Not in my little jar down here. You gotta have enough in order for it to spray onto your brush the correct way. There we go. That's gonna work. That's gonna work for us. That's a good old amount right there. All right, we'll come back in here real tight along the canvas, almost touching it. Pow! All right, we got our little sprays happening off into the distance. A couple little bits, a couple more little bits down into here. They're coming off, they're about to hit, and skadoosh, everybody. All right, got a few more pieces down in the sand, over here, over there, down here, a couple little bits, little seashells, little something out in the night. Yeah, guys. Man, that's a cool one. That is cool. Okay, you guys start coming up with a title for this painting. Man, I didn't think we'd be done with it in this amount of time. 1 hour, man. That's a power painting. You heard of a power nap? That's a 1 hour power painting right there. It's power. So you guys start coming up with a title. I'm gonna start cleaning up, and we'll see if this painting goes. And maybe I'll come back for a second show. And if not, I've got a good idea for tomorrow. Okay, let's see. Let's see, guys. Clean up all these brushes. You guys got to type in your titles. Remember, if you grab it, you get to choose its title forever. Forever. You get to pick the title, right? It'll be all yours. And I just dropped the price on it now. So, head over there. If you like it, you can grab it. And if not, that's fine. I'll keep it for my own dang self. Dudes, look at it. Just love it. How do you say, I just love it in painting language? Because I just love it. Here, there, no straighty poos. A couple little bits out on the edge of my, just in front of my little watery section. Hello, shoot, guys. Oh, who did that? Because I wanted to go home. Janice. All right. Yes. And that means that somebody else has to choose the title. It's not up to old Paint with Josh. And I love those kind of days. Those are my faves. I don't have to pick the title. That's my favorite kind of a painting day. Little bits, little things out there. Don't want to have too much. Too much, and it's too noticeable. So, you better come forth in the comments if you grab this painting and let me know who you are. Sunset Shore Break. Low tide at sunset. I like you guys' title suggestions, man. I like them. I like the suggestions. Dude, look at the colors in this painting. From the sky to the backwater to the midwater to the crashers to the sand to the sea foam. Literally. Heaven on earth. I like that. So, are you out there? Did you grab this painting? You gotta tell us in the comments below. Are you here? Are you here? Because we have to be able to see you. Are you here? Do you see? Are you here? A little bit. There we go. Get the right amount of the liquid white and the titanium white mix. If you don't have the right mix, guess what's not going to happen? You're not going to have it come off your knife. It's not going to flow like you want it. Woo! Man! Goodness gracious. Yes! Well, they gotta be watching here, don't they? Wouldn't you think that they would be here watching? I did. Thinking of a name, Janice. Janice. Thank you for having your name in your actual screen name. It helps. It helps us people to sort of kind of determine it's actually you that got it. You know what I mean? If you have a name that does not have your name in it at all, and then you're using a different, it's like, okay, whose is this now? So Janice, you have the distinction of titling your gorgeous little painting that you got right here during the live show, and you get to come up with a title for it. Right? So start coming up with or thinking of a name. Maybe if it was me, I would check the comments suggestion because I'm bad at titling paintings, and there's lots of people in here, and they tend to come up with some really good names, right? Really good old names. So, if you have to, you can check the comments section for a title. If not, maybe you've already got one in your head. But maybe someone in the comments is going to sway you and have you change it just because theirs might seem better to you, right? So guys, you have to come out and tell Janice what we're going to name her painting, because without you, we may struggle. If she relies on me, I know I would struggle to come up with a title, right? So, there we go. We need a good amount right here. There it is. There it is. All right? Push it on there. Scrape it back. Get these little things out there in the day. Because all we need it to be is bright enough to stay bright as we drag it back. Just like so. Gorgeous. Gore to the just. To the just. Man. Janice, I like this one so much. You got a really, really cool one. Just really. Right there. There, Joshy. Oh, Janice. Oh, Janice. You got a neat one. I'm sure many people out there are kicking themselves for not grabbing it when they could. But you gave them ample opportunity, Janice. You said, guys, I'm going to get this one if you don't. I mean, you might not have said that, but they had their shot. And now it belongs to Janice. So, Janice, what are we going to title your gorgeous little seascape out here? What do we put for a little old title ski. Just an old little title. A chi-idle. Chidle. Oh yeah, there it goes. That's the money right there. There it is. Bring this guy out a little bit more. That fixed it. Gorgeous. Guys. A couple little bits. Remember, you don't want to ever make them all too similar, because it's never all going to look like that out in the night. Alright, so we're not going to make them all the same. They don't all have the same amount of bright. They don't all have the same amount of texture. They all have the same amount of nothing. And now we don't make them more realistic. Ooh! Very cool. Janice! My friend Janice. I can't believe it. There we go. Guys, that is a seascape for you. You see how we didn't cover all the black canvas either? We can still see the darkness. That's what you want to do. You don't want to cover everything so stinking much that you then can't tell anything else. All right, I'm gonna take that back guy, soften him down just a little by going over him, and squeeze the color up underneath this guy just even more because he's further away. Bang, right? That guy will come back in here, squeeze the color up underneath this guy because he's a little further away. Zip! Oh, baby, I like it. Okay. Janice, you gotta give us a title. And I promise I'll stop singing if you give us a title. Do you guys know that I also have another hobby? This is what I do when I'm not home in front of hundreds of people. Right in front of a wet painting over my wet palette. That was close. That was close. It's been so long. I found my juggling balls today. Found my balls today. Decided to play with them. They're nice. Whoop! Oh! Haha! Didn't touch the painting though. Look at that, guys. Did you know I could juggle though? Seriously. It's like riding a bike. Like once you can get it down, I haven't juggled in probably 2 or 3 months. But once you get it down, then you're down to clown any time of day. All right, we're gonna try something really sketchy right now. Get these out of the way. We'll see if we can hacky sack juggle. Should be right. I normally can't do it in these shoes, but we're gonna find out. Ready? We're gonna go like this. Oh God, the lights. The lights are making it so I can't see a thing. Whoop! Hey, we did it, guys. Pow! Look at that. Boom! That deserves a gift on its own. Heaven on Earth. I like that title. I like that, guys. So, let's get down to it. I need to stop juggling and come over here and put the old bird fam in there. The old fam flying through the night. Let's see. I always like them on the right side and low on the canvas. I don't know why. Caca! Boom! You guys! This one is gorgeous Janice. Janice! Oh God, I gotta get like, seriously. Hang on, I gotta seriously get on my knees. Ugh. Get way the heck down here. Put the old Josh Hancock on this thing. Whoop! Over there. Bink, bink, bink! Perfect. Oh, goodness. Goodness to the gracious. Goodness of graciousness. One little thing piss you off sometimes. Just every so often. Every so often, a painting comes around that's so fantastic that you can't even help yourself, and you've got to go to paintwithjosh.com and purchase it for your own. It happens, guys. It happens. So, wasn't this a fun one to watch? Massive canvas. I had to lower the bottom of the easel almost all the way down to be able to fit this size of a canvas into it. It's humongous. Oh, goodness. Didn't realize how heavy that was going to be. There we go. There we go. Look at the size of this thing, guys. This thing is immense. just E to the enormous. Enormous coming through. Okay, again, oh, it's like I'm trying to marry this canvas. What the heck? Over here, I'll paint with Josh. Originac. Works for me. Over there, number 1674, the year that Columbus fell on the floor. And what did we say? Heaven on earth. I like that. On earth. All right, guys, painted on 1, right? It's still January, right? 1/26 of 2024. We're all going to go to paintwithjosh.com because it's the best place ever. Man, dudes, this thing is so big. I have to literally. How's that for a reveal? All right. First thing, it's literally humongous, and I have to cover it. I gotta finish the top of the sky real quick. The top of the canvas, anyway. And by doing such, it's gonna help by putting a little bit of liquid white onto the top, and then mixing in my colors very lightly. Dragging it across. At least it's gonna have the top of the canvas be covered. So if you hang it as you're coming down the stairs, that's how I really found out about needing to finish the canvases all the way around. Because when I would put them going up the stairs, until you see them coming down the stairs and you see the whole top part of the canvas, and it's all just like sloppy and exposed. Get on there. Damn it, Bobby. There we go. Okay. And so then I started covering at least the top of the canvas and the sides with color. So it wasn't just nothingness, right? Man, look at that, dudes. That looks so cool. I like that. OG Phoenix, did I say something different? Did I say something? Thank you, Peggy, I appreciate you. It's a 30 by 40, Peggy, a 30 inch by 40 inch. Like, here's a yardstick, and the yardstick sits nicely inside, except right here. So it's 30 inches by 40 inches on this guy. It's humongous. It's immense. It's immense. It's intense. It's insane. It's humongous. You guys got some brush hairs in it. Normally, I like to leave a couple bristles in the painting just because it shows that it's actually a real painting versus a print. You can go, hey, is that a print? No, there's a bristle right there. The dude actually painted it with. There we go. Okay. Yes! I cannot wait to turn the lights off on this big beauty right here, dudes. You guys. So, let's do a light party. Right? Do an awesome light party for Janice. Janice! You got to name this gorgeous painting, and you picked a doozy too. I like that. I like your title. The painting came out fabulous. I just love it. I love it. Go. Always one thing. You guys know me. I got to finger paint. It's something, right? Let's go like this. Like this guy. Just like that. Because at any moment, Josh has finger painted every painting. There's a point or a splotch or something to do where I've touched it up with my finger on every single one. There we go. Finger painting with Josh. Hey, just like that. Soften it down. Even with your own fingertips. Back in here, it needs to be a little softer as well. Right? Don't tell me you can't blend with your fingers, bro, because I can. I can does it. All right. I like this one, you guys. Gets very dark off to the horizon. Boom! Okay. What are we doing? We got to do the light party. So, if you are sensitive to light flashing on your screen, then the next part of the show you're not going to really like. And I suggest that you turn your phone away. You don't look at it. Or you swipe away and you come back in a minute or two. And that way we'll be all done with the light party. But if you are going to stay for the light party, and to watch the colors on the canvas change, right? If you're going to stay, type in the words "I'm ready" and then hit send. So all I should see is a bunch of "I'm ready." Now get your thumbs ready because I want you to tell me the thing that flashes the most for you on the screen. Okay, they're gonna go crazy, boy. So, what's gonna be the flashiest thing for you? Counting down for the light party in 3, 2, 1. Light party! Boom! Shoot! Oh, goodness. Look at it. What flashes for you the most? Where are you looking at? Right, where are you looking? The sky, okay, I feel it. Where are the waves? The sky. Guys, everybody seems to say the sky is flashing for them the most. So, the shore, the sky, the ocean, the sky, you skies. Okay, the light party's now concluded. You may look back at your phones if you're light sensitive, and we're gonna do something that we now call the RGB party. Do you know what the RGB party is? The RGB. It means we're gonna turn the painting from this color. We're gonna put a whole bunch of red onto it, right? And then we're gonna fill it with a whole bunch of greenery, and then we're gonna put blue light on it. So, what do you think it's gonna change into is the question. Oh, it's so awesome. Okay. Now, we're gonna see some big color differences and big color changes. I want you to tell me which one is your favorite. Red, green, or blue. Going red in 3, 2, 1. Red. It's all red. Look at it. Oh, shoot, guys. Man, some of those colors just literally disappear in the red. Right? Isn't that insane? Okay, we're gonna go green in 3, 2, 1. Green. Ooh. Look at it. Oh, it's fantastic. It's spooky. The green is one of my favorites all the time. Then we're gonna go to blue in 5, 4, 3, blue. Look at that. Really makes it dark and spooky. So which one is your favorite? The red, the green, or the blue as we come back down to regular lighting, you guys. Regular lighting. Back to normal. Man, look at this one. It just came out fantastic. I love it. It's humongous. Literally humongous. So, we got a wicked cool title. And let's get rid of the old YouTube camera because the tutorial's now over, so we can say goodbye to the YouTube camera. I can't wait to see your versions of this painting. Please send it in to facebook.com/officialpaintwithjosh or instagram.com/paintwithjoshk, and you can send me a message over there. So, love you guys over on YouTube. Can't wait to see your versions. Send them in. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have a good day. And blah, pow, boosh, it's over. Thank you guys. I love you.